Okay, that timer is a lie. We're gonna start earlier. Okay. It's been good, Tank. It's been very good. Excuse me while I change scenes. Up, up, up. Why's that there? Couldn't be. Ah, that's why. Bye-bye. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning a thing or two. Boop. There we go. I got my little MIDI pad set up today. Less likely to hear a click, 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 click. So, yeah. Glasses got crooked. No on you. You want to go outside? Let's get you outside so you don't bother me while I'm streaming. Ignore the PJs. I'm very professional. Did you whack yourself in the face? All right. All right. Business is not for business. Wow. All right. Party in, or business in the front, party in the back. I don't wear mullets, but I wear mullets in terms of my outfits. My water. There it is. Ah. You have the same radio. This is the man. I forget what my radio looked like. This is the Beyonce thingamajig. So get rid of this timer here. Let's see, no longer Buda. I'm gonna get the live stream up so you don't have to moderate as much. I think. For those tuning in, welcome to this live stream where we're live. Isn't that exciting? I wish I could moderate from OBS, but I can't. Anyway, today we're going over. I changed what we were doing because I was thinking about like what I wanted to do and what I thought would be a good idea, and like this whole like top 5 thing countdown. I don't know. We got something that works. I change everything all the time, always. ADD, ADHD, I guess is the only diagnosis now. But anywho, so I changed the title. We're going with Caro Mio Ben. Okay, we're gonna go with Caro Mio Ben, and we're gonna do a deep dive because I think there's more to be said on that than I actually said. As well as that people are really liked that. Yeah, and I saw a bunch of like opera singer reacts to this and that, and no one really covered it. So, I had that one, probably still do because we don't throw anything out. Same, relatable. Yeah, it's man, I had one of those handheld ones. We're old folks. Did you ever have a radio? No, it's not an iPod. It's not the same thing. All right. So let's get into it. Come on, advanced scene switcher. What you doing? What you doing here? Try this again. Test. Okay, well that worked. Why didn't this work? That's no bueno. Try this again. There we go. Okay. I was like, y'all can't hear anything. That's not bueno. All right, that got fixed. So, that done. Sweet. We're good. Wow. Swear I'm prepared. Let's do this. I love that it says it right there. So, one of the things that I really like about this one, you get the sense of the change of harmony. The original is in major. That is the original Caro mio ben is in major. Sounds a little bit like this. Oh, God. Oh, it's terrible. I don't want to talk about how flat that was here and there, okay? Now, part of what I love about what Beyonce was doing in the previous parts, that she's not using a lot of harmonizers or auto-tune, because that's part of the reason why that sounded so flat. Interestingly enough, that does change when you put it in minor. Right? A little bit more tolerable. Also, I did go flat. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that didn't happen, but we got a deadline. So, that's a big change to go from major to minor. Thanks, Beyonce. That makes it interesting. I love the way she does that man, little runs. She's doing a lot of different stuff with her voice there. Little sigh that she did. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I love that. She grows with that a little bit. And then she also did that sigh again. Oh, that sigh is actually very idiomatic of Italian opera singing, but I digress. Ooh, okay. We get a little Disney chorus kind of sneaking in there. This is the isolated vocals. That's what I got for everyone here. This is the isolated stuff. I'm showing this for a reason. When Beyonce is singing this joyous stuff, she's switching how much she tilts her thyroid cartilage. So let's take a listen to it again. The extent that she tilts the thyroid cartilage is actually quite significant. Let's talk about why. This is the thyroid cartilage. When we sing in opera, what we generally do is we add a lot more tilt. That gives us that depth of sound. Il tuo fedele. When we have that tilt, what we're doing is we're contracting this muscle. It's called the cricothyroid muscle. That tilts the thyroid cartilage thus and stretches out the folds. The more you contract the cricothyroid, the more it's pulling down. So if I just pull it a little bit and the folds are kind of pulling back, we're getting this. It's a little jiggle. If I contract the cricothyroid a lot, then we're kind of going thicker. Quite literally thicker. I have my rubber band somewhere, but you can see that there's this idea of the stretch, right? She doesn't always want that big, robustious opera sound. Beyonce is more like paying an homage to opera, which is fine. It doesn't have to be opera. She's an artist. She's not singing in front of an orchestra, right? She can do what she damn well pleases. She is aesthetically making deliberate choices. But I wanted to show you the difference between that and getting into these little nuances. Ooh, fresh. I love me some Renee Fleming. But what Beyonce was doing before, that quick vibrato, is actually a little bit more reminiscent, not of musical theater. We can go back a little bit further in our minds and think Disney.
I know you, I know what you'll do. You love me at once.
Ooh, swell. And there are, it's worth saying, classical singers like Maida Robin who have that bird-like quality to their vibrato. But I digress. Wow, we hear it a lot there, don't we? And then we're getting a difference in that sigh with that vibrato. Very different, a lot of switching around for different aesthetics. Why am I bringing up the Pav? Why am I bringing up the Pavarotti? There's a reason. What she is doing also is she is controlling the airy epiglottic sphincter. So when you sing opera, it's not just about how much you tilt your thyroid cartilage. It's not just about the vibrato. There is a quality that you have to introduce in order to project over the orchestra and go up high while doing all this chicanery and balderdash. When we sing... did I get any of that? I don't think I did. Let me check. Orchestra and go up high while doing all this chicanery and balderdash. All right, I just have it so that when the scene switches, it feels like it's not. Okay, no, it is cranked up. I don't know. It feels like it's the highs on this or down. Ooh, computer is getting hot. Point. Go a little bit more light. I love the way Snow White sings with that very quick vibrato. So pretty. I agree. I really like that style. You would like Maida Robin. I love Maida Robin. If I had tested Maida Robin to see if I would get banned for playing it, I would have played Maida Robin. She had the highest note on record for a while. It was like a B-flat 7 or something absolutely ridiculous. A B7. It was just something fucking absurd. Anyway. I think the only reason those runs sound Arabic is because of how quick they are. Although, I can't really be sure because I don't listen to enough Arabic music to be... Yeah, Mariah came along. Yeah, people figured out whistle register. And, there were other people, I think, for a while as well that were able to do it without whistles. But yeah, Mariah showed up. That happened. When we sing opera, when we do that thyroid cartilage tilt, we're bringing the larynx down. You can see it go down right there. But that's not good when you want to go up. Listen, when you want to go and sing your high notes, the larynx will move a touch. It doesn't choke you off, but it does go up a little bit. If you're contracting your cricothyroid muscles and bringing the thyroid cartilage down, you are kind of preventing yourself from going up. And so a very essential part of singing opera, not only to project over the orchestra, but also to ascend at all with these qualities, is to contract what are called the aryepiglottic muscles. Now, these exist on both sides. I just took one away so you could see it. These contract and form a sphincter of their own. And so that's why I was playing the POV. His voice is so fresh I could put it on a salad. No thank you to ranch dressing. There's only one dressing I want. It's the POV. Is that weird? Probably. But here's what it sounds like when you don't do that. Time to say goodbye. So not only do we have that vibrato that's quick, we don't have that squealo, that twang. Sure that might get fucked up. Has she officially tackled the classical repertoire? No, it depends what by tackled. I would say that probably tackled repertoires, tried to sing a opera, studied opera, or has done like an art song cycle. You know, I think she studied it. There's really no reason for her to go and tackle repertoire. There's just no. Sorry, I know. I turned down the mic so I could sing a little bit, so I apologize. Yeah, it's give me a second. I've turned it down so I can sing. Opera's very loud, so I have to turn down the mic a lot. So I have to use my voice like this. Opera's going to be very loud, okay? I'm going to do it really loud with the ariepiglottic traction. You're going to hear that. So there's a difference between, I think she's demonstrated technique, but there's a difference between learning repertoire and being able to do it. So when I think of repertoire, I don't think that's not synonymous with technique. The repertoire is the rep. It's the music that we sing. Could she project over an orchestra? Yeah. I don't know if she would do Verdi. Not a lot of people can do Verdi. Like, she's not a massive voice. She's got a big voice, though. It's deceptively larger, I think, especially now that she's had children. So maybe she could do Verdi. I don't know. But that's the thing is, like, there's a lot of these idiosyncrasies that, you know, if she just, like, jumped into a role, all of those roles have different little nuances of each different moment of every... People lose their voices a lot quicker nowadays because it used to be that opera singers would focus on, like, 8 operas. Now international travel is so easy, so a lot of people pick up a lot of different operas. And so even, like, really good opera singers are ending their careers earlier than they used to. Every piece of repertoire is very distinct, has its own idioms, etc. So it's not a matter of can she do it, it's can she do it the way that, like, you know, this particular Verdi opera versus this particular Puccini opera. She has, generally speaking, the ability to do that. She just hasn't worked on the rep. So the technique needs context, if that makes a difference, if that helps you understand. But yeah, she can sing classically. I think she does a lot of that here. Bring this down a little bit. Blowing me out a little. Awesome sauce, thank you. There we go. It needs it done. Too white. Okay. So the audio might have come out a little lemon water. Not a good idea. The audio might have come out a little in and out there, but like that squealo is there and it sounds brighter. Now, if I do that same ingemisco without the squealo, I don't even need to turn down the mic. Ingemisco tam quareus. It's weird because the vibrato is quicker, but it's also a little bit more lush almost. Lara would sound good doing popera, which is what we're talking about right now, which is the most people, I think, when they think opera, they actually think opera. And I don't, that's not a pejorative. It's not an insult. It's just a thing that's not the same as opera, but it's a great sound. I need to fix this. It's going down way too fast. I don't know what's going on. All right, maybe I'll just bring it up. All right, that actually does make it. There we go. All right. So that tone color change. So that tone color change is quite dramatic, and it's very worth noting because she actually does switch between the two. Let's continue watching to see how. Those harmonies. She actually does it in some of the harmonies. Being able to go back and forth between the two takes a little bit of know-how. She's not basic, this Beyonce person we speak of. You see how she's introducing it right there? You can hear the twang a little bit, especially as she goes up. Now, as she does straight tone, it does go away, and we're going to talk about why. Sorry, I'll get into the questions now. I think it's normal to want to dabble in other genres when all you do is breathe music and try to test limits. 100%. Opera is very tunnel vision. That's very limited. There's a reason why it's funny when opera singers try to do pop. You know what I mean? Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and pleased the Lord. Although that's more popper technique. It's interesting. Popper sounds worse. If I go and do it in operatic fashion, it actually sounds a little bit better. A little bit, not quite. Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music. Yeah. It's still completely fucking ridiculous, but it's not as absurd, but it's still absurd. Yeah, no, so if you're gonna do a pop album, if you're gonna do basically anything that's outside of classical, you need to know how to not do classical. So, Hey, Defiant. Welcome. For his own fusion genre thing. Yeah, Dimash is a really good example of someone who picks up different techniques from basically every different genre. That's Dimash's superpower, is his versatility. And people get it twisted. They think he's like the best at everything because they don't have an ear. Like if you've listened to opera for, 20 years and you listen to Dimash versus Pavarotti, I'm sorry, Pavarotti's a better opera singer. And when Dimash does these metal screaming things that are crazy, there are metal singers who do that better. But Dimash can do it all. And then he picks bits and pieces to execute and do all those different things. And as a performer, his energy is super, super, super high level. It's actually really cool. I think Dimash is really good. I think he's a really great singer. But it's interesting. People kind of like either worship the ground he walks on or think he's a hack. And I don't think that that's the case. But if I piss off everybody if I don't take a side there. So I don't know. I might try another Dimash video and see if I get doxxed or not. I'm a little scared of it, just like the way I'm scared of Taylor Swift fans. But Lisa Fischer, that's the one I wanted to do. Someone recommended a ton of Lisa Fischer. Let me write that down because that's come up a lot, and I need to write that down for sanity. Because that's one of those singers that like it's not going to get a lot of views, but I love gospel, and I've heard a little bit of Lisa Fischer, and I can't always make videos based on what's gonna do well. That's why I picked up a little bit of work on the side so I could do videos that I would like to. Were you here, Cassandra, for my giant rant on Messa de Voce? There's a video I have on it. It's great. Defiant, are you back from work already? Anyway, let me continue with this while y'all marinate on that. Yeah, and I'm not crazy about Dimash, but I think it's interesting. And I think discussing all of these techniques, like 12 to 6. Oh, that's right. And you're oh, you don't have midnight shifts anymore, right? You don't have like crazy crack acid dawn and crazy evening shifts, right? Which has got to be so nice. I hated that shit. So I didn't pick up the job of Venetian. Would you say you raced home like the wind? I don't know anything really about Dimash. I know a little bit of technique stuff here and there, but I don't know much about him. Let me get the compressor up. I think that's one of the issues here. Yeah, that helps a lot. There we go. Yeah, I feel like a tornado warning. That's the one in the gym that I want when we do cycling. They're like, do 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 do, and you're like, yeah, I'm bumping. There needs to be like, and tornado warning, go, and you're like, ah. That's gonna feel the burn. Bridge over troubled water, John Legend, Jacob. Now that I know what I can get away with on YouTube, doing this every phrase thing, I think this is the format that allow me to just do whatever the fuck I want. Because the Tori Kelly stuff was locked. So I couldn't do it. At least I couldn't monetize it. I think I misunderstood. It does get blocked, but I don't think it gets blocked totally. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue. There we go. Writer vowels. Except it wasn't recording. You're gonna love this. I love this part. This is the power of being able to switch between a lot of the idioms of different genres, right? You get that vibrato, that chonkiness from the popera style, right? And then the brighter vowel, squealo, that's a higher operatic sound, but it's not totally idiomatic of opera because she chooses a brighter vowel, which gives us the wah. Then she goes down and does a hoo with the quick run. If you're singing classically, you can't do that because the thyroid cartilage stretches the folds out so they don't move that easily. So you actually need to untilt in order to go hoo. Let's do an example of, I'll start out with the meme, right? If I, there's a bunch of different techniques you can use if you're not singing opera. If I do like, oh my God, I can use the jaw movement to kind of shake things a little bit. And that'll give me an articulation for the different runs. However, if I'm saying classically, I have to make bigger, larger movements that impact the vocal folds. This is how I would do it for classical. I'm playing so much with the volume knobs now. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm playing with the volume knobs to try and get it. Because last time I did the demos, they would just clip the mic like crazy. So anyway, there's your sound. Yeah. Barbara Streisand's rendition of Liebesstrafe. Man, she also does Après un rêve, which I thought about doing for this video. I thought about taking the Barbra Streisand one to emphasize the point that, you know, you're an artist and you do what people want. There are a lot of classical musicians that like, because Après un rêve is done a lot. A lot. Because it's fucking pretty. So, but what Barbara's version is it's well sung because it's fucking Barbara, but it's different. I need even more compression. Welcome to live audio. I know Defiant shares my woes. Especially because I have it, if the volume is too low, the recording pauses. So I have to use a lot of compression. Anyway. Thyroid tilts, they're not, I wouldn't know, they're not rough, I would say. Because vibrato inherently requires it. That's how vibrato happens. But it's finicky. It's not exactly a large muscle. Let's get back. Now I'm pretty sure we're just going to go to the end here. Ooh. Oh, this is another video. Here on this channel, we cover a lot of different videos. So if you're watching this video right now, you should subscribe, because if you do, you'll be able to watch YAYA and other videos. You can technically watch them without subscribing, but if you do, you get cool points. What you can purchase with cool points, I don't know. Possibly sunglasses, the ability specifically to wear them indoors. So subscribe. Move these videos. There we go. I've been doing some weird stuff with chest and vibration bass Defiant, and it's like, I'm like learning a thing or two. Indoor sunglasses merch. No one bought my Chronically Caucasian merch. Then again, I never advertised it. I'm not going to do merch for a little bit. I want the videos to be consistent, and I want them to be of a consistent quality. The things that I want to prioritize for right now are I want to do I want to cover gospel, pop, beatboxing, and by pop I usually mean the Trinity. But like, you know, the Trinity, like Beyonce and all that stuff. And then this is going to sound funny. Mariah is her own category. The Mariah fans are actually the most supportive fans of the channel. So I put Mariah in her own category. So those are 4 genres I want to cover consistently. Which means I'll need to be putting out more than 1 live stream a week, but I think I can do that. I was able to do that when I would do 2 live streams. So that's what I want to be able to do, is work my way up towards that. Then I would like to do actual singing. Nothing crazy. Just like I used to do memes. If you look on my Instagram, which I no longer have access to, I would used to do memes a lot, and they're on, some of them are on YouTube Shorts, and I want to go back to doing that just because it's important to sing. Then I'm torn between doing merch from there or doing live streams / podcasts where I actually give lessons to people and do it at a discount, heavily discounted lessons. Any time where I'm thinking I want to monetize my audience, I try to put that last in the priority, because every time you do that, the audience feels it. So I want to wait as long as I can before I really start pushing, especially because I have the members stuff that I'm doing now. Patreon. So merch is very much in the end game for me. Anyway. Because I don't know much about rock. I'm not a very good rock singer, as much as I love rock. Whenever I did, and this is true even when I was trying to do a lot of different stuff, my voice tends to be, and this is actually something I really didn't like. My voice tends to be pretty. And it's funny, Eric Clapton had the same complaint. Because all of my favorite rock artists don't sound pretty. Like, you don't listen to Pearl Jam and go, oh hey yeah, rest his head on a pillow made of concrete. Like, okay, In Sync. So yeah, I don't have a really gruff voice. Yeah, I know. Doesn't it suck? Defiant. It kind of blows. It's like I don't want to be clean. I want to be nasty. I love Afterbridge. Or Alter Bridge, rather. Guitar player is fucking sick. Same guitar player from Creed, right? Nessun Dorma? Yeah. I'd love to do more Aretha. It sucks. Pavarotti's death sucks. But what's interesting is, like, even before he died, like, a few days before he died, he sounded better than, like, 90% of professional tenors. Kind of nuts. Like, dying of cancer, Pavarotti sounds better than others. Anyway, let's keep going. There's the YAYA. Ooh. Ooh, I like that sound. It's like it's both a filtering and going down in pitch. It's a really interesting way to start, because you usually want to hype things up, and she's chilling it out. Interesting choice. Oh, why am I playing this? Let me tell you why. That is an analog sound. That is from the Black Keys. And what that sound is analog. It's tape. Back when we would record, we would put things on tape. Now that has a markedly different sound. She's going for this aesthetic, and this is not a new idea. What you just heard is analog, it's tape. Here's what it is when it's kind of like fake tape. You might have heard this one in your life once or twice. Yeah, I love that one. Anyway, that is kind of like faux tape, and so that's what we're going to be hearing a lot of in this track for basically the entire thing. I think it sounds pretty cool.
Hello, girls.
Hello, Beyonce.
Hello,
Hi.
fellas.
You're pretty swell.
She has the hey boys. The boys are just the women, but pitched down. Which that's kind of funny. Hey, sound like Eddie Vedder there a little bit.
Hi, we're your weather girl.
But this chatter reminds me of this. Right, that kind of call and response that happens. It definitely has its origins in gospel, but in terms of like that call and response, that hey girls, you definitely see it in stuff like the Weather Girls.
Petty ones can't fuck with me. Cause I'm a
Say it
clever
like that.
girl.
You are clever, Beyonce. Take credit where it's due. Call and response, always a good idea.
We snapping.
Okay, rhythm. This entire song plays with rhythm and tone with rhythm like crazy. We're going to be talking a lot about that because it goes nuts off the rails.
Pretty please.
Tom's place. We want to welcome you.
Do you know how hard it is to get me to dance and bobble my head? Do you see how white I am? The amount of color correction that I have to use so I don't blind you is cray-cray. That's crazy for people who, are white. We're getting a lot of different percussion on the P's. And when she does with the P's, you're going to hear the introduction of the toms. Those toms are the lower drums that are going to come in. So we start with the snaps. And then we're going with the toms. Let's take a listen again. It's kind of delicious.
Toms, please. We want to welcome you.
So already we're dealing with an incredible soundscape, okay? We got snaps, the call and response, that this kind of insanely saturated, almost analog sound. We're going places.
To the Beyonce Cowboy Carter Act 2. In a rodeo children's circus. We're going to make it do what it do, YAYA.
We're going to make it do, even the rhythm, we're going to make it, I think that's it. So we have 16th notes, and then there's some eighths, and I think there's a triplet in there.
Put them hands together. We clapping.
Oh, okay. Ooh. What I love, so I use an auto jump cutter, and we're going to bring that back because my auto jump cutter, my auto jump cutter done messed up because she paused immediately right in the middle. And then there's also the introduction of the guitar. All right, so there's this dramatic stop. Now this guitar tone is very reminiscent of Jimi Hendrix. There are other guitar players that are referenced in here, but take a listen to this example that I have of Jimi Hendrix here. Back then, it wasn't a huge priority to make every sound of the guitar huge and massive and chonky. You also used a fender, so the attack on the string was much more dominant. The toms, the vowels, the percussive nature of the consonants, all of this stuff is coming in very highly rhythmic. Also, we have a tambourine. You can hear that plucking of the guitar. Right there, we heard glottals. Glottals are what happen when you take your vocal folds. Let's remove these bits and bobs. When you take your vocal folds and they come together and they're hold together. They don't move. So, I close those folds and the sound stops. It's actually kind of more or less, people think that that's what the vocal folds were from an evolutionary standpoint, had more utility for, were more useful for. If you've ever lifted something heavy, you're like, that's your vocal folds using their sphincter to stabilize your core and your breath and all that stuff. Keeps your spine in a good shape, but it's not great for singing. However, you can do it in certain ways that is really cool and provides rhythm to vowels, whereas you don't need consonants. Yeah. That the way that ya ends abruptly is a percussive choice. Sorry, getting to questions now. That is Z anatomy. It used to be, it took me a while to find, they used to have it on Blender. But the problem with Blender is that like it's like really inefficient. Blender's great. But it's like not, it doesn't run through it smooth. Whereas Z Anatomy is run on Unity. They also have a website, but it's free. Z Anatomy is free. Yeah, I was thinking about the Beach Boys a lot on that, but it's I'll get into that. I do get into that. I mean, Jimmy influenced a lot of people. Like Van Halen had a Strat, which was not super common in metal. In fact, it just wasn't done. The Frankenstrat was the abomination that he made, but that's what makes Eddie's sound. That like bow, bow, like that very hard attack. That's idiomatic of a Stratocaster. Everyone used a Strat after Jimmy. Eric was playing, like if you listen to Sunshine of Your Love, he's still playing like he was kind of in the Yardbirds. But yeah, after the punchy nature of Jimmy, you have Stevie Ray Vaughan and Clapton just like unapologetically take inspiration from Jimmy. Why wouldn't you? It's Jimi fucking Hendrix. Yeah, Jimmy. What's funny about Jimi Hendrix is like you go through this phase with guitar playing where you're like, oh my god, Jimi Hendrix can shred like a god. Then you learn about shredding, and you're like, oh, Jimi Hendrix doesn't shred. It's like the woke bespoke, all that shit. Then you learn, like, oh, Jimi Hendrix is like, his soul is in the instrument. Right? Like, it's when he plays, it's like, holy shit, speak on it, right? Yes, Stevie Ray Vaughan is, my roommate in college was named after Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, Z Anatomy. Yep. There might be a dash. There's a dash. Jimmy is different. It's like, it's hard to, I don't know, when he plays, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's his soul is in the instrument. It's kind of nuts. All right. Get back into it. Now that guitar, ooh, that guitar is more idiomatic of like beach rock, like I think like the Beach Boys or 1950s, a little bit more Elvis-y, but it's kind of like almost like a hollow body guitar. Very interesting tone quality. Ooh, USA. I love that nasality on the end from the... I don't like calling them backup singers because they're phenomenal singers. But yeah, the backup singer, phenomenal. A new America. It's very hard to do that and not sound swallowed, and there's a reason for that. I actually learned this from beatboxing. So, if I bring up the epiglottis right here, and I bring up the tongue right here, you'll see that the tongue is right hither, right adjacent to the epiglottis. So, what does that mean? The tongue can pull down the epiglottis and push it down, and then you can contract your shenanigans right here to bring the arytenoids up, and then the arytenoids can rattle against the epiglottis. That's what creates that growl distortion. Now, here's the trick. Remember how we talked about the area epiglottic sphincter? If we haven't yet, we will. The area epiglottic sphincter can raise the larynx and add this nasality, this bright sound, right around 2,000 to 3,000 hertz. So when we have this swallowed sound, if we do that, yeah, but then we contract the AES, yeah, right, you get a brighter sound. So you go from and you can contract in various ways. I don't growl. I'm an opera singer. Don't look at me for the tonal quality. I'm here to talk about the principles, not demonstrate pristine growling. For that, we go back to Beyonce.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know.
But before we get back to Beyonce, we have to talk about how this music is being driven. We've talked about percussion, but there's a vibe here. There's the vibe that kind of reminiscent of, I don't know, the 70s?
Help, I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know.
That's close to it, but it's not quite right. What are we missing? When we get to the Beatles and Help, we're having a 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of vibe, but that's not what Beyonce's doing. She's doing something more akin to yeah, that's right. Less, no, not wait. Oh my god, not Les Claypool. Why the fuck was I thinking Les Claypool? Oh my god, why do I forget his name? Holy shit. The bassist for Sly and the Family Stone made Slap and Pop. Boom, 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 boom. The drummer left. Fuck it. Thunder Thumbs. This is gonna bother the shit out of me. Larry Graham. That's the name. God, that was gonna fucking. I'm so glad I figured that out. That was gonna actually bother the shit out of me. Sly and the Family Stone, that track gets on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what we're dealing with when we're looking at the music Beyonce's making here. It's a little bit more driven forward. Now, the problem with this kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 is you can get kind of in a march. In fact, marches are in 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, da, 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 da. And so to bring it forward, you generally need a lot of different kind of rhythm ideas, which is why in hip hop, that downbeat is so important. That kick on the downbeat in rap and hip hop is essential. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I get tired working time and a half for half the pay.
See what I'm saying? It's rhythm. The white person, the chronically Caucasian, the person that can walk in traffic and cause an accident if the sun is too bright. I don't know why I put It's Raining Men back in here. There was a thought in here. Oh yeah, the growling. What was it going on about? Anyway, you guys said some comments. Even Ozzy is heavily influenced by Jimmy. Yeah. What is the reason? I think it's Jimmy took it from blues. Jimmy is the one who added the hype into rock and roll. Like when you listen to All Along the Watchtower or Voodoo Child, right? Before it was like, like there was rhythm, there was blues, but it wasn't like super hype. And a lot of it was 12 bar. Like James Brown was hype, but the singer was hype. The instrumentals weren't hype. Whereas when you go with Iron Man, right? If you go with Ozzy, right? You have this incredible hard hitting. And that's what Jimmy did. He brought that hype. Yeah, he definitely gave it a stank. I love the Graham Central Station. Have you heard Pow Defiant? It's so fucking absurd. Pow, boom, 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 I got you. Bow, bow, I caught you with your funk down. Boom, 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 boom. Fucking amazing. I love Larry Graham. Fucking that guy did some drugs. I did some drugs. What's cool is that the growling is not just the only thing that's going on. There's a sassy tone, with the contraction of the area epiglottic sphincter to get this sassy tone. And then there's the belting. It's almost like this track that I really love that we've already played, but I gotta hear it. Have I mentioned I am white? Very, very white. I'm a disappointment to my mother. Because there's white and then there's chronically Caucasian. It's terminal. She's bringing the growls. She's bringing the energy. We have the 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the crazy rhythms. Then we have the growl and the energy. Where's she going to go from here? Let's find out. Okay. That's the thing. Where are you going to go? How are you going to hype it up? How do you take crazy hype and then hype it up? Take a step back. Shit. Pause the hype, and then you can bring it back, and then it's hype again. That's right, he can't watch the news. Why would I? When there's only one thing on the news ever, all the time, always. I cannot stand it. It's just killing me softly, and we're not going to talk about it. Ooh. I love that. The way that the snare hits with her vocals, boom, boom, it gives it that pop and that emphasis. And now we're going into some sort of psychedelic-esque kind of breakdown here, almost like a Cream, like with Clapton. You can also throw Jimmy in there. Purple Haze, you know what I mean? After this, I think I might go on a Jimi Hendrix listening spree. I think I'd be totally justified in doing that. But yeah, very psychedelic in that little break there.
Ladies. Yeah. Fuck it. Shake it.
And then we're coming back to this kind of poppy right? We're coming back to that poppy vibe after all of this intensity. So it's a great way, it's a really smart way of shifting. Hype, and then pop. Oh, okay. All right. All right. We're jerking and we're twerking. I know what the last one is. We're going to keep it out of the gutter. This is a quasi-family-friendly video, not necessarily channel. You wanna touch it, don't you? Come get this in the bar. Come rub it, won't you? I'll pop it. I'll walk in like I feel like that's maybe a Britney Spears reference. I'm a genie in a bottle. And then, you know, like, I don't know, maybe, or maybe it's just, you know, like the genie in the bottle and rubbing. Huh, these lyrics might be provocative?
I got your spurs walking.
Huh. Is that Christina Aguilera that did Genie in a Bottle? It might be Christina Aguilera. Did I mention I'm an opera singer? That guitar in the back just screams Jimmy. Oh, it's so fucking good. I love All Along the Watchtower. And have I been clipping the mic this entire time? No. Yeah, you gotta check out Pow. It's so fucking silly. Yeah, all the talk is politics. I'm sick of it. It's important. Well, the thing is like, I'm sorry, like, not every little fucking detail of every little fucking thing. Jon Stewart just tore the media apart, I think, in the most recent episode, and I really like what he said. He's like, if you make everything a big deal, then nothing's a big deal. Stop. It was, you know, I don't know. We don't have to we don't have to talk about this. We're not going to talk about it. I'm going to take a sip of my water, as if it's tea. I'm going to forget that I called Christina Aguilera Britney Spears. And we're just going to sit here and have this awkward moment. I'm even going to do a zoom in to emphasize how awkward it is. Where's the zoom in? And we're done. I have nothing to apologize for except literally everything in my life. Pretty sure it was Christina. Oopsies. I got you daydreaming. Put your lips on my lips and strum me like a guitar. I'm glad actually she mentions the guitar, because there's so much of it going on. And there's also, we're going to hear it in a little bit, there's a little nugget. There's a smidgen of awesome amongst a lot of the awesome. You're gonna hear the guitar change, okay? Keep in mind what we've been hearing so far with the guitar, okay? We've been hearing a lot of stuff with the guitar that is Hendrix-esque, but the tone is gonna get different. That attack is gonna go away. It's gonna be fuzzier. That guitar is gonna chonk. That sound is gonna chonk up over the course of the next few measures. And there's a reason why she's paying homage to a lot of different artists in this track. Ooh, that's fun rhythm. Okay, what? Hold on. Okay. Forgot that was the thing that happened. That's some dangerous, risky stuff if you're not, like, good. It's a belt, and then she brings up the areopaglottic sphincter. She brings that up to kind of create this rattle. The distortion of the AAS can get... It's tricky. The AAS contraction, it doesn't like a lot of breath at all. So the more you contract it when you want to get that grindy sound, you need not a lot of breath. Add to that the AAS is part of the recipe for belting. So you're already kind of there when you're belting. However, if you fuck up with air when you're belting, you're getting this, right? Oh, here's an air buildup. Here's the folds that are really fat. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, too much air. Boom, vocal hemorrhage. You start bleeding as if you're wearing your ring on your finger and you hit your hand. Ouch. But the point is that it's very difficult to do in a way that's not dangerous. And so that's why people say it's dangerous, but it's not if you do it correctly. You have to have incredible breath control, and your valves have to be very efficient. And you know she's using that AES contraction, the areoepiglottic sphincter contraction, because it goes into this kind of nasal quality, but it's not nasal. There's a difference between, oh, yeah, and then, oh my God, Mr. Sheffield, listen to how my voice doesn't change when I plug my nose. Oh my God. But if you do that and you do it like me and you're using too much air, it's uncomfortable. But you can do so much with the AES to create that distortion. Here's what the beatboxers call vibration bass. What I'm doing is I'm vibrating the vocal folds on a vocal fry. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then I'm adding the AES contraction in there for the distortion. Whoa, 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 whoa. And it adds another pitch. Anyway, it does, like, AES distortion is really cool. But it's easier for me to do that low because I can put that air in there. To do it high with the belting, that's nuts. It took me a little bit, and by a little bit, I totally stumbled on it. But I've been doing throat bass for a while, and I stumbled on that. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. The beatboxing is fucking amazing. I know. I fucking love that shit. Defiant is way better. Defiant, you should put some shit up so I can bring it up whenever I want to reference beatboxing, because, like, I'm mediocre. I'm glad, Santiago, thank you for giving me the pass. At least I didn't say Lady Gaga. At least I said 90s. Disney Child 90s. Hey, Juliana. I'm glad you think it sounds cool. At least there's something I do that's cool. I'm so hip, I probably need a surgery. We're bringing these back on. Oh!
It's giving me the fame. I'm picking up good vibration.
Oh my God, there's a lot of ways to do distortion, and we talked about some of them. There's the epiglottis, and then there's the contraction of the AES to get that going. It's kind of incredible how many tools you have.
He's giving me sweet sensation.
Hear that chonk on the guitar? Right? We're still in Hendrix land. We're still in Hendrix land, but we're going somewhere. In the meantime, there's still a lot of voce to discuss. Here is more voce.
From Texas to Gary, all the way down to New York City.
Oh, man, the rhythm is so cool. It's so good. There's so much different playing. This is the thing. It's so easy with making a record to copy and paste, but Beyonce never does that. She's a brilliant recording artist, like really good.
Big Daddy, you so pretty, so pretty. Got these slugs in my mouth and I don't take them out.
Ooh. Okay, we're getting a swallowy kind of thing. Intentional. The tongue goes like, except she uses it much better than I did and much better than Eddie Vedder. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I hear that a lot about the grits. I hear that a lot about the South. I was questioning the legitimacy of that. And then I went to the South and I had good grits. And I got to tell you, if you can't fuck with grits, get out the fucking country. Ooh, hear that rhythm change? That's just the change, like boom, 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 with that snare and that clap. Then they remove it. They just remove it, and the vibe changes so dramatically. We have to hear it again. It's so good. Whoever that bass player is, I want to just give them a pat on the back. That's boom, 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 boom. It's so good, so funky.
I just wanna shake my ass.
Here we go. Here we go. You hear the guitar change? We're going places. It's happening. I've been talking about it for the last few minutes, but here we are. Finally, we have arrived almost. Ooh, what? Those vocals sound familiar, don't they? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I've heard this before. Where have I heard vocals like this and guitars like this? Oh my God! Oh yeah, baby! She's paying the respect in this album to so many freaking artists and genres. This isn't a country album, it's a Beyonce album. Am I shamelessly quoting Beyonce? You bet. You bet I am.
And Loverboy, you're so fine. Ooh, you got me losing my mind.
Listen to these overdubs. They're so good. The way that you have to balance when you're doing overdub and you're doing this kind of sound with that ADS contraction, and you have that with the guitar, balancing that is tough.
But you gotta keep the faith.
That tone on the guitar is nasty. It's so good. Oh, I love it. There's like fuzz going on. I wish I kept up with the guitar. It's a wonderful instrument. Ooh, guitar harmonies. Yeah, buddy. It's one of my favorite things. It's a very video game thing nowadays. You get the dueling guitar thing. That's much more, that's like almost metal in a way. Oh, okay, yeah, we're going. Listen, we were Hendrix, we were Prince, now we're going into metal territory. We got rhythm, we got tone quality, we got growls, we got timbre changes in the voce, we have different guitars, we have a lot going on. Oh my God. I don't even know what this sound is. I don't know what it is. I don't even care. How do I do that without like destroying myself? I got nothing. Listen, all right. You want me to sing an opera? I got you covered. I can do that. I can sing an opera for you. You want me to do this crazy shit? Nope. This is a very specific kind of singing, but it's also, she's borrowing from so many different genres. This is why it's important if you want to study voice, but you're not married to opera. You can study with a classical singer. That's fine, but you should find somebody who can teach you a lot of stuff, and that's hard because usually someone who's studied classical has put a lot of effort in, and there are a lot of voice teachers who haven't. God, I want to say shameless plug, but there are people other than me that are really, really good. Voice Hacks does a lot on distortion, like a lot. That's her jam, is like metal distortion and screaming. And she's a professional. She's in a band and tours and all that shit. So Voice Hacks is really good for that one. Usually you'll find that there are people who specialize. And if you're interested in picking up something specific, you should probably go to a specialist for that thing. But anyway, that's it. To me, it's just like this. These are hyper specific, like tonal strategies that she's picked up. Fucking incredible! It's so good. And you can see that not only can she do that with her voice, but it reflects in the album. There's a lot going on in the album. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. There's a lot. It's in the beginning of the stream, Juliana, and we're gonna, I'll cut out, the stream is going to be taken down for the first few hours. I'm gonna edit out the bits where I just have like a fucking clock and a timer on. Members will have access to the stream while that gets taken apart, and then they'll have early access to the Caro ban and the and this one while I figure out the thumbnail and the title and all that shit. But you know, it'll be up in a few days, so it's no worries. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and if you want to hear my like initial take, that's already up there. But like I went into a bit more detail. So the daughter analysis / react is already up. So if you want to hear that, that's up. You have to be for that shit. But the thorough breakdown and stuff, that's going to be member only for the next like 2-3 days. But it'll be up too, so you don't worry about that. I just got to figure out the thumbnail and title. Well, the thing is with Fry, it's like you can't fry and belt at the same time, or if you do, it's like a fucking insane thing to do. Because a belt, the folds are really thick. So to do a fry on a belt, you need to have really lax folds like this, but they're thick. Whereas usually a fry you want like this. This is just the edges flopping around. So this is where distortion gets really interesting, because there's a lot of different ways to... Yeah, she switched, and that's the thing, is like switching from this to this can also go really badly, right? You're slack, it's like boosh, you know. But that's like, yeah, I don't know. It's Herculean. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking cool. But yeah, I really liked it. Juliana. It was fun. Yeah. I like the saying, and it's my saying. Is it my saying? For some reason, the awkward moment. Zoom in. This is where I think. Thinking my thoughts is the reverb. As I'm thinking my thoughts, and now we're back to reality. Yeah. It's not complicated, it's just hard kind of thing. That's when it's really hard, when you can't clever it. You have to have really, really good, precise technique. Man. Did I just like skip the sideburn? Was I just like, we're not shaving that? I guess that's what happened. That, ladies and gents, and otherwise, that be the stream. I gotta get ready. And this is new for me, have friends. I'm gonna be social. What has become of me? Anyway. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for coming in, Defiant. We should discuss again. I was in a point of transition on stuff as well. But we should discuss doing beatbox. If only to start a discussion about it. I'm still kind of yeah, I'd love to do more stuff with beatboxing. I was hoping to involve Bugs, but like I think he's still on the streamathon, which is insane. I think he's like been doing it literally the entire month. Thanks, Royal. You as well. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And to find out, I'll talk to you on Discord. I gotta check. I think Bugs is still doing a streamathon, which isn't. Send some over my way. I need some friends being in the house all day with your husband. Yeah, I love my wife. Can't do it 24/7. It's fucking mad. This is why, like, I always think like, oh, I love live streaming, and then I go to Twitch and I'm like watching someone who's streamed straight for 30 days, including recording their sleeping, and I'm like, that's fucked. I don't know how you do that. That's weird. It's still going? That's fucking insane. 23 days of streaming nonstop. That's fucking twisted. You've been together for 15 years? That's pretty cool. Or Tink. Forget that I made that mistake. I swear my Chrome doesn't have anything weird up on it. It actually doesn't. Oh, 15 years of you being in the same house. When did y'all get married? If you don't mind my asking. I just made a porn joke. Without, like, missing a... I am... This is more... We're just gonna do chatting. I don't want to end the stream just yet, because I like talking to y'all. But this is, for content purposes, this is the end. Man, I really love when Britney Spears sings. Okay, wow. You guys were together for a while before getting... Okay, I respect that. My wife and I were not... I think we were, like, dating for a month when... And there were extenuating circumstances. She was, like, gonna have, like, I don't know. It was... It's funny how, like, healthy norms are not in my marriage and relationships, usually. So. Your brother's best friend when you were little? Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. That's cute. Like, not in like a diminishing way, but that's wholesome? Wholesome. That's the word. It's like an anime plot right there. And then he got hot. Puberty happened, or like he got a haircut. I had my own experience with that one. It's fun. Tori and Topanga. That was a great. I love the new action movie, Boy Destroys World or whatever. Hey, Corey went to jail? Or your husband? Gotcha. Yeah, I suppose there's not a lot to do there other than work out. There's a great song by Pete Seeger. No, it's not by Pete Seeger. Pete Seeger did it, but he didn't write it. My dad's friend wrote it for Pete Seeger. It was about a guy who would go to jail for healthcare and food. Statement. the Americas. It's not hard to go to jail in the States. You don't have to try that hard. As a 1% of the population is incarcerated, it's a fucking insane stat. It's bonkers. What a bonkers stat. Wow, channel is just fucking doing really well. These Beyonce videos are fucking popping off. It's really cool. I gotta pack and clean. I gotta clean this guest room. It looks nice in here, but if I ever take the camera on it, which I will at some point, anyway. But because brother couldn't do it, I said I was his pregnant girlfriend. 3 months later, I was nice. Nice. That's funny. All right. I have to clean a bathroom. Right, hold on. One more of these. All right. Crazy how shit happens. I agree. My wife, and like, I don't think anyone's gonna watch to this point of the stream. Certainly. We were just like dating casually, and then she got an infection. We met. She was doing a show. She was doing the door for a show that I was in, and we were dating and we met and all that stuff. And she started just like getting like falling down and shit. Long story short, she had an infection, and it was so far gone because like she got health checkups regularly. She ate well. She was did all that stuff, but like it was a dental thing, which like whoever thinks, and it wasn't something that, like the dentist would like see. It was like there was an abscess under her wisdom tooth, and people have died from this apparently. So the infection got so intense it actually like started to eat into her jaw and went up into the nerve in her brain. Like I saw it happen and I was like, shit, we got to get you help. So we had been dating for a month, and I was like, well, I'm not going to just like let her fucking die. So I brought her into my place, and we I got her. She had healthcare. She just had to use it, but like anyway. So she moved in, and then she that got fixed, and it's like, well, you're here. Hi. So we and we stayed together, and cost of living in Philly became ridiculous and just kept going up. And we were in a shitty apartment anyway. The apartment was so shitty that when it snowed, it started raining in the fucking apartment because we were on the top floor. The roof caved in and it started raining in our fucking apartment. So, we were barely able to afford that one. I was like, let's move to Vegas. But I'm not moving to Vegas. I was like, why? Look at the prices. She's like, I'm not moving across the country with you unless we get married. I was like, yeah, okay, we can get married. It was just, I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? She was like, what? Well, yeah, it makes sense. That's how that happened. We moved to the West Coast. Yeah, I know. It is weird. Yeah, no one talks about it. That like the infections that you can get from dental stuff is really serious. It can really fuck with your life, and I had no idea. And so it's interesting that like there's no healthcare coverage for that, but because it's not hard to find. You just need an X-ray. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, if the situation's crazy, you kind of have to respond in a crazy is as crazy does, right? Like, you know, yeah. And then, like, it went around the other way too. Like, I'm not just like some sort of like hero or woke hero. Like I had the downward spiral, and she stayed with that as well. And that was more recent. That's like why the channel kind of died a little bit. Is I just like had a health crisis, and she stuck with me for that too. So it's like it's amazing what you can do when you love a person. No, I mean it's theater couples are. I've had a few relationships out of theater stuff, and in a way, my wife and I met because she was doing the front of house of a show. Um, the last four exes of mine are all from theater. Um, one I felt no, two I felt really bad about. Because I knew I was leaving. I was in California. Leaving, felt really bad. Yeah, I think because Tank. I agree. It's life. Shit's crazy. You kind of, I don't know. It's like you think like you have a trajectory and a plan, and then you get older and you're like, well, that plan didn't work. The worst thing that I think that can happen is when the plan works. I know a lot of people who said they were going to do really cool things, and then they didn't, just didn't, and like they have really good jobs and they're cozy, but they're kind of done. Like nothing else is going to happen in their life because the plan worked. So they're like, okay, and they have a house and they have kids. I don't know what's going to happen. We're not going to have kids. I know that. That's for different. But it's exciting. Like I wouldn't if I had followed the plan. Here's what if I had followed the plan like everybody who pursued opera who I went to school with. Two people had a career. One changed his plan. Went to musical theater and did really well there. I think he's still doing it. Um, and that's cool. He's on tour like internationally all the time. Um, that has its own stresses, but that's cool that he made it. The other guy uh, did young artist programs for like 10 years, which is actually how you have to do opera. You get your master's and then you do young artist programs for like the next like decade ish. And then he got a contract at the Met, and then COVID happened, and then the plans changed because the Met wasn't going to honor that contract. Yeah. I mean, I think there are things you can do. Um, I think it's just it sucks because a lot of your options think are limited because of your site. But there's still things you can do. But I get you. I know it's not. I'm not like, oh, let's just be a positive Peter about it. Like I hear you. It does suck. Um, but you can still do some shit. Have you posted some of your singing stuff? We could actually do when I get better with audio. We could do some collabs and stuff. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, not having great parents is not ideal. If I get my shit together with audio, we should do some. Even if you just send me like phone clips of you singing, like I can do stuff with that, and we can at least have like a positive project for you. And when I do the podcast where I do live lessons, we can get that going. Even just phone clips. I should have it to be where the music kicks on. Sorry, I just had a stream. Content. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Let's talk on Discord. Let's follow this up on Discord. Because I gotta clean the toilet. My favorite thing to do, which is why I actually didn't want to watch the stream, or didn't want to finish the stream. I also love talking to everybody. But before I go out, I gotta clean the toilet. So hit me up on Discord and we'll touch base. And we'll talk logistics. And same Defiant, if you're still here, we'll logistics for that shit. Yeah. Stem. If recording off, stream on for 3 minutes, begin music, and then all right. Time to give a shit. Oh, terrible jokes.